Please continue to enjoy your meal. We're going to get started with our awards ceremony. So to kick us off, it's my pleasure to introduce John Sudam. He's the Chief Legal Officer of Apollo Global Management, and he will introduce our first honoree. John?
Your hand. Thank you. It's a great turnout here today. I'd like to thank everybody for supporting the wonderful event. So good afternoon. I'd like to extend my congratulations to Legal Momentum first for hosting such a wonderful and what seems to be a very special event today. The event is truly a celebration of the power of women and, of course, how distinct Brad Corp is. Brad, congratulations on being recognized as a man of distinction. Lisa, congratulations also on receiving an award today. However, the reason I'm here is to help recognize my friend and colleague, Stephanie Drescher. I'm thrilled to be here with Stephanie, her family and friends, our colleagues from Apollo, and senior executives from a number of the financial institutions and investors that we work with who have taken time out of their schedule to be here today. Now, Stephanie may not enjoy this part of it because she's a very modest person, but I think it's my job this afternoon to embarrass her a little bit by providing some insight into the power of Stephanie Drescher. As you can tell from her bio, which was in some of the materials handed out today, Stephanie is a graduate of Barnard College, summa cum laude, received her MBS from Columbia, and after 10 years sharpening her skills at JP Morgan, she joined Apollo in 2004 to head our marketing efforts. I'm not sure she had the official title back in 2004 as Global Head of Marketing, since there was only one other person in the group. But at that time, she was not only Global Head, she was local, regional, and national head of her small team. At that time, Apollo had about $10 billion of assets that we managed for investors and 3 products that we offered. If you fast forward to today, Apollo manages approximately $200 billion in assets. Those assets are across dozens of distinct product offerings. Stephanie is not only the global leader of marketing efforts, but also leads the Apollo teams that are engaged in product development, investor relations, and communications. It's been a long journey. Stephanie's team now numbers 70 professionals instead of just the one, and they're located around the world, truly a global operation. Steph also serves on our overall firm-wide management committee. So she's taken on a lot of new responsibilities in the 13 years she's been at Apollo. Stephanie's accomplished all of this during a remarkable period in our industry where change has been ubiquitous, small partnerships, like one we had, have become global multi-asset investment management platforms, and the legal, political, and regulatory environment has become much more complicated post the Great Recession. So how has Stephanie managed to help Apollo raise hundreds of billions of dollars in the last 13 years from some of the world's most sophisticated and demanding investors, while deftly assuming new and increasingly demanding responsibilities and simultaneously building a world-class team? Oh, and on top of that, while also tending to her most cherished responsibilities, her husband and 3 beautiful children. Let me describe to you the traits that I believe help to explain Stephanie's stunning success and clearly demonstrate that Stephanie is a shining example of the power of women. So let's start with hard work. I don't know how she does it, but Stephanie has been able to balance extremely demanding time requirements for a job that is truly global and requires extensive travel, both domestically and internationally. She's somehow balanced that with her family life, and her ability to achieve that balance is really astounding. The number of individual decisions, small and large, that Stephanie makes every day to achieve this feat and to meet all of the competing demands on her time is clearly difficult for me to understand, and I think difficult for any man to understand. But if you assume work ethic and her apparent ability to focus without much sleep, what else is it about Stephanie that has allowed her to succeed? Here the answer is not necessarily what I believe people would guess looking in at Apollo. I believe the key to Stephanie's success, and the reason she's a role model to so many, is that she is always cool, calm, and collected. Now, I don't mean to suggest that Stephanie is in any way distant or detached. In fact, the opposite is true. Stephanie is cool, calm, and collected in a very caring and thoughtful kind of way. She has a way of going about her job that suggests to everyone that she works with patience, confidence, respect, and thoughtfulness. You see, I think the key to Stephanie's success over the years has been her ability to forge extremely strong and very durable relationships with a myriad of people, from the senior executives at Apollo to the senior executives at some of the most sophisticated investment institutions in the world, to the lawyers, accountants, and investment bankers that she works with regularly, to the team members with whom Stephanie interacts on a daily basis. Stephanie is able to forge these durable and strong relationships because she listens, she cares, and she never loses her patience. I am sure Steph endures many frustrations in her daily life, but you would never know it. She never shows it, and she's always composed and thoughtful. So as her resume suggests, Stephanie is exceptionally bright. She not only understands her job, she likely knows far more about my job than most lawyers I've ever met. She is also a great, and let me emphasize, great listener. That's a trait that's not often celebrated in today's world, yet it's absolutely critical for what we do and for what Stephanie does. It's a trait that you don't always associate with very bright people, but for Stephanie to succeed in her role, she must know what our clients and investors want and what concerns them. You only learn that by actually listening to them, and Stephanie does that exceedingly well. So I'm here today to introduce Stephanie, as she's recognized at today's Aiming High event, as someone who epitomizes the power of women. For all that she has achieved in her career, for all of the help she has provided to others who have been lucky enough to work with her. And I'm also here because I've been lucky enough to work with Stephanie over many years and to learn from her. As a father of 3 girls, I hope that my daughters are able to find a role model that is as compelling in their careers as Stephanie has been. I guess the best way to sum up Stephanie is that she's graceful. Watching Stephanie work is like watching a tremendous athlete or a highly skilled dancer. You marvel at what they can do, but you're also stunned by the ease and subtlety with which they achieve their objectives. You recognize the tremendous amount of work went into what they're doing, but you just look at it because it's so easy and natural, and you are in awe. Stephanie, you inspire those of us who you've had the chance to work with over the last 13 years at Apollo, and we'd like to congratulate you on being recognized here today. Congratulations, Stephanie.
Thank you. Thank you, John. It's truly my pleasure to have worked with John all these years, and I can't think of someone better to have learned from. Normally, when John and I speak with a group of high-powered lawyers, we typically rack up a high-powered bill. But I'm very happy that that's not the case today. I am thrilled to be here and to celebrate the power of women and all that Legal Momentum has been able to achieve over the past 48 years. I'm honored to share the stage with Brad and with Lisa. And Brad, thank you for introducing me to this amazing organization. From the moment I met Karen, I was struck by her passion and the vision that Legal Momentum has for a society in which all women and girls are economically secure, empowered to make their own decisions and choices, and can live and work free of discrimination and violence. How amazing is that? At different points in my career, I've benefited from key mentors, inspirational role models, and supportive peers. They've been managers, colleagues, investors, friends, and family members, men and women who helped me grow professionally and personally throughout the years. To those of you here today, I want to thank you. Early in my career at JP Morgan, a senior executive, who was also an important mentor of mine, presented to a small group of women professionals. Among the many helpful pieces of advice that she shared that day, she stressed the importance of supporting one another and reminded us that as we rise in our careers, we should look around and lift others around us. Those words truly inspired me. And over the past 20 years, I've reflected back on those words, recognizing that at times we're the ones receiving help, even inspiration, while other times we're given the special opportunity to lift others. One notable person who inspired me early in my life is my grandmother, my father's mother. Born in the late 1800s, her formal education ended in the 8th grade, while her brother, who she loved dearly, went on to become a doctor. While her brother was in school, she spent her days in the library, reading every book she could get her hands on. For as long as I can remember, she drilled in the importance of education to each of us. I was fortunate that she lived in our home during my formative years, junior high, high school. I would see her reading the Wall Street Journal cover to cover every day, well into her 90s. While she came from modest means, she invested what she had wisely and followed her stock portfolio closely. Well before the internet, she and I would track our stock prices on a piece of paper that we hung on the refrigerator. You could call it my early exposure to portfolio theory. She lit a spark and kindled my lifelong interest in the markets and the economy. She passed away shortly before I was accepted to Barnard, but I knew she would have been proud. I was pursuing the kind of education that she was passionate about and was unable to pursue herself. At Barnard, I was surrounded by a community of talented, bright women. I used my time there to learn everything I could in the classroom and fell in love with economics and psychology, if there is such a thing. But I also developed a keen sense of issues that were important to women and explored ways I could help lift and support others. I remember one evening, my first year on campus, when hundreds of us lined the grounds of the campus to participate in an event called Women Unite, Take Back the Night. The program was designed to raise awareness of sexual assault on campus and support those students that had been victims themselves. Unfortunately, 25 years later, still 1 in 5 girls on campus throughout the United States are victims of some sexual assault. And I am inspired by the work of Legal Momentum and the role they are playing to keep our schools safe. Later in my career, I found another way to help lift others by supporting girls' education. I have had the privilege of serving on the board of an organization called TWILS, or the Young Women's Leadership Network, for several years now. TWILS is privately supported 6th to 12th grade public schools in New York City. The schools provide a single-sex educational choice for predominantly low-income students who will typically be the first in their families to attend college. The TWILS graduates enroll in college at twice that of their peers. The East Harlem School, which was the first of the schools, just graduated their 17th class of seniors, and 100% were accepted into college. I'm proud to have played just a small part to help empower the young women of these schools to achieve their dreams. More recently, I've found another opportunity, this time at Apollo, to continue to support the women around me. I'm excited to serve as co-chair of AWE, stands for Apollo Women's Empowerment, and we're already doing some work. Our goal is to engage, develop, and retain our female talent. The support from both men and women throughout the firm has been terrific. Our programming is already underway, and it not only aims to lift those women in the organization, but also provides an opportunity for engagement with the community so we can serve as role models to others. Thank you to all my Apollo partners for joining me here today. I'm grateful for the opportunities I've had to help with others and to give back, because I consider myself incredibly fortunate to have such a strong support network, both in my career and personal life. My husband and 2 sons are here today, and about 3 months ago, I had my 3rd child, a daughter. She is now my ultimate inspiration for continuing to help create a society that offers equality for women, from the courtroom to the boardroom. My heartfelt thanks to Legal Momentum for all the amazing work you do in lifting women in need. I'm grateful to be part of a special organization. Thank you.